Imagine buying your dream home only to receive an anonymous letter in the mail. Not from a neighbor welcoming you, but from someone who claims to be watching your every move day and night. Someone who knows intimate details about your family, someone who says they've been watching for decades, observing everything, and they're waiting for you to make a move. This isn't a horror movie, but it feels like one. It's a real story, and the person responsible was never caught or identified. This is the terrifying mystery of the Watcher House. It all started in 2014 when Derek and Maria Broaddus, a married couple with 3 children, purchased their dream home, a 6-bedroom house at 657 Boulevard, Westfield, New Jersey. This wasn't just any house, it was in an upscale neighborhood, one of the safest places to live in America. They had worked hard to afford this home, believing it would be the perfect place to raise their kids. But what they didn't know was that someone was already watching them. Just days after closing on the house, before they even moved in, Derek checked the mailbox. And inside was a plain white envelope, addressed simply to the new owner. The letter inside? It was anything but ordinary. It was the beginning of a nightmare. It read, "Dearest new neighbor at 657 Boulevard, allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood. 657 Boulevard has been the subject of my family for decades. We have been watching it, nurturing it, and waiting for the right moment. I have been put in charge of watching and waiting for its second coming." And then the letter became even more disturbing. It hinted at secrets buried deep within the walls of the house. Do you know the history of the house? Do you know the stories it holds, the whispers in the dark? Do you know what lies within its walls? Why are you here? I will find out. The words seemed to echo in Derek's mind. Derek felt a chill down his spine. The letter was not just a welcome, it was a warning. Who could have sent this? A prank, a jealous neighbor, or something much worse? The questions swirled in his mind, leaving him with an uneasy feeling that this was just the beginning. As any concerned homeowner would, Derek went straight to the police. He hoped they could provide some answers, or at least some peace of mind. But there was little they could do. The police were puzzled and had no leads to follow. There was no direct threat, just an eerie letter. It was unsettling, but not enough to take immediate action. But then, more letters arrived, each one more disturbing than the last. Each new letter contained disturbing details about the Broaddus family. Details that were too specific to be coincidental, things that only someone very close could have known. It was as if the writer had a window into their lives. The writer referred to their children, writing, "I see you've already filled 657 Boulevard with young blood. They are so full of life and energy. Have they found what's inside the walls yet?" The letters hinted at secrets hidden within the house itself. This wasn't just some random prank, someone was watching them, studying them. The Broaddus family felt trapped in their own home. The Broaddus family was now living in fear. Their dream home had turned into a nightmare, and the sense of dread was palpable. They hired private investigators, former FBI agents, and even forensic experts to try and uncover who the Watcher was. They analyzed handwriting, scrutinized every letter, and checked past homeowners for any suspicious activity. They even looked at neighbors who might have had a reason to send the letters. Every person in the neighborhood became a potential suspect, but every lead led to a dead end. The frustration grew as each promising clue fizzled out. Police did suspect a neighbor named Michael Langford, who lived next door with his elderly mother. His proximity to the house made him a prime suspect. He had a history of odd behavior, and his family had lived in the area for years. The Langfords were well known, but also somewhat mysterious. But no concrete evidence linked him to the letters. The lack of solid proof meant the investigation couldn't move forward. Another theory? That it was someone from the Broaddus family themselves, maybe a hoax to get out of the mortgage. This theory suggested a desperate attempt to escape financial burdens. But that didn't make sense. The Broadduses were genuinely terrified and had no reason to fabricate such a story. The Broadduses never moved into the house. The fear and uncertainty were too overwhelming. They even lost hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to resell it. The financial and emotional toll was devastating, leaving the family in a state of despair. The Broaddus family never spent a single night inside 657 Boulevard. The fear, the paranoia, it was too much. In 2019, after years of trying to sell the house, they finally sold it at a massive loss. And just like that, the Watcher disappeared. No more letters, no more threats, just an eerie, unsolved mystery that still lingers in the neighborhood. To this day, the true identity of the Watcher remains unknown. So who was the Watcher? Was it a neighbor watching from the shadows? A former homeowner obsessed with the house? Or was it someone else entirely? Someone whose identity will never be revealed? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you believe the Watcher was real? Or was this all an elaborate hoax? If you love mysteries like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more eerie true crime stories on Stephen's Tales.